Yo, what is up, 5-9 gamers? Welcome back to the number one Dokkan Battle podcast, the Dokkan Battle podcast. This is episode...
In the world.
In the whole
world.
So this is episode 40, the Tana-Better celebration episode. You might notice that it's not Toon Rami hosting because, of course, the World Tournament is on this weekend, so he's busy grinding like crazy and pretending on social media that he isn't. So I am the Masked Ninja, and I will be your host again this week. So... yeah, we've heard some of their voices already, but on today's episode, we have the man himself, The Truth.
Hello, my children. Gonna be a very nice, drama-free discussion
This
today.
is going to be a very civil episode, I can tell. We have our boy, Lost in the Source, Mr. Diddy himself. How's it going, dude?
Yo, I'm here because Truth wanted to do this early. Really early. Because he needs to go to sleep.
It works for me because I'm on UK time, so this is a decent time for me.
It's fine.
So.
It's fine. It's honestly fine.
It's all good.
We also have our boy Minato. How's it going, dude?
Hello, everyone. It's going pretty well, and let's just hop into it, I guess.
And shout out to Troco. He's behind the scenes manning the boards. I don't know if he's gonna pipe up at any point, but he's here too. So shout out to him.
Drake's for Troco.
Exactly.
Blame Troco if the audio's loud.
So we are going to go ahead and jump straight into the top topic of today's episode, which is, of course, the release of the new tech, Goku and Vegeta, or Gogeta. And yeah, he is the new hotness. So yeah, how good is he? Is he the new best unit in the game? How good is he?
The new tech
Truth.
Gogeta. Huh? He's a bad boy.
He seems pretty good.
Honestly, I'll just say that he's ridiculously good, right? Like, it's just that simple. They made him really, really strong. That design for the Goku and Vegeta units is crazy, where they've got shocking speed, Saiyan lineage, and prepared for battle. It makes them runnable in any situation, right? They're just... You can get away with doing them on any team. I'm really disappointed they weren't a movie hero leader, because of how good they would have been as a movie hero leader, right? Because you have the weird units on there with shocking speed. Some of them got Saiyan lineage. You'd be able to fit all of them on there easily with that Goku and Vegeta as a movie hero unit leader. And they're a Rainbow Orb changer sometimes too, right? So like they're crazy. Then they fuse into Gogeta. They're for the most part untouchable. I actually was a little bit underwhelmed with their defense in the God event, but I mean, it's the God event, right? Like it's only the most difficult event in the game, right? Upon using them a lot, I actually am like legitimately pretty comfortable saying I like Vegito better. It's just to me, it's not even like he out damages Gogeta or no unit is on his level damage wise. I think like STR Vegito when he gets out. No unit can compete. AGL UI Goku can't. Evolution Blue Vegeta, Blue Kaioken Goku, Blue Kaioken Goku, and Evolution Blue Vegeta. None of those units, right, can compete with STR Super Vegeta once he's going crazy. And that's the thing, right? And it's like he can definitely get hurt bad in the right situation in like the God event or something like that. But so can Gogeta, right? Gogeta is not. That's the one thing I was disappointed on is he's not as invincible as I would have liked in the God event. Like, because they held back on Gogeta offensively, I wish they would have stepped it up, maybe 50% damage reduction instead, or 60% damage. Like, they should have went more crazy with
to make him
Gogeta's,
actually invincible.
Yeah.
Just untouchable, basically. Yeah. I would say I really do like this Gogeta unit a lot from, when I was using him at least as a friend leader. It's just very strong. He's very simple to just put on a team and you could run him on any real team that he's on. Same with the STR Vegito. Of course, since they're similar in designs, we all know how good the STR Vegito already is. And since they're almost the same unit, it's hard not to say this Gogeta is like a top 5 unit in the game. If we're comparing them directly to STR Vegito. I feel like they both have their ups and downs. Like, this Gogeta is more defensively based. The STR Vegito has a better leader skill. This Gogeta is on technically more teams than the Vegito. Things like that. This Gogeta can Rainbow Orb Change, which could help the whole team on rotation. I feel like myself personally, I feel like they're most are equal, than one better than the other. And in the end, I feel like they're designed to just run together anyways. So really doesn't necessarily matter to me which one exactly is better.
So I think like the rotation of both of them transformed is like it feels like the best rotation in the game to me. Like I want to try using UI Goku, the 6-year anniversary LRs together at the same time, but the two of them together, they do cover each other's weaknesses, right? Like I think one of my big issues with Gogeta is his transformation condition is much tougher to get than Vegito's in difficult content. But if you're running them together, you will always be able to transform, right? Like whenever you want to, because the second you fall below 77%, Vegito can transform and then Gogeta will be able to transform. They're invincible together. It's just the only thing is they have a lot of teams that they're not on, right? Power of Revival, Buu Saga, Movie Heroes, Fusion, Patara. You go through, there's a ton of category teams that the two of them are on that they don't share together. That's the only thing. And a lot of people point out like, oh, items exist, so you could heal for Gogeta's leader skill. But how are they power balancing these difficult events now? They're limiting your item usage, right? You don't get 1,000,000 items. A lot of times, some of these God event stages could take like 10 turns to beat, but you have 2 items for a stage. So
I'm going to go off of what Minato was saying. With them together, I don't think it really matters. With Gogeta, the orb changing, him just helping the entire team is amazing. Vegito is definitely just strong, just straight up strong. Like you said, he's like the hardest hitting unit I've seen, by far. Personally, I have Gogeta at 55 and then Vegito at 90, right? So I can't really just put them side by side and compare them really, because that is a huge difference. Yeah. Especially since my links on my Gogeta are like 2 and 3 right now, or like 4 and 5, while my Vegito's already 10s. So I need to wait and see until I pull more dupes and stuff to really compare. But off of watching your videos, Truth, comparing that, I mean, them together, it doesn't really matter to say who is better, right? Because they're both killing the game.
Yeah, it's together they
Pretty
cover
much.
each other's weaknesses, right?
I
Yeah.
think I'm sorry, were you going on, Diddy?
Oh, no, go on. You're good.
I think the one thing that they could have done if they wanted to make Gogeta like clearly better would be that super attack nullification. It's only against melee super attacks after he ultra super attacks. I feel like if he had to ultra super attack first, they could have widened the classification of what type of super attack it had to be, like not just melee, but maybe some of the other categories, stuff like that. That would have probably made this Gogeta a lot better, because it's basically just taking 0 damage from a super attack is obviously pretty strong, and it would
Dude, if
be
they
so good if
let's just say Gogeta nullified all types of super attacks, he would probably be the best unit in the game. Honestly,
He would be the best unit in the game.
Because
Yeah,
the
I would
second, yeah, like when he transforms, you are immune to super attacks. That would be like honestly, I kind of wish they'd done that. I would have been fine with that, right? Like,
Listen, calling that guy the best card in the game with those animations, dude.
the other thing
do it.
too is like that is like it's only a split second, but that's like maybe my favorite animation in the game, right? Him just tanking the hit. Like,
I love
it
first-
just looks so cool. It makes you feel so powerful.
the first thing that came to mind was obviously, I mean, it wasn't necessarily rocket science, but if you go back to the last episode, or possibly even the one before, where we were just going off speculating about Gogeta, that is pretty much exactly what we said, him having that counter animation for the super attack typings, because they just introduced that into the game. So it's pretty cool to see that actually come to fruition. So obviously one of the big things about the unit is the leader skill. So the time limit category, what do we think about the category overall? And is it another situation like with crossover was for Dragon Ball Heroes? Is the fusion category essentially obsolete now? Because I think every single fusion unit on time limit. So
Yes.
yeah, so what do we think?
I'm thinking about the time limit category. Of course, is very good. It mixes most of the Batara units, even some of the Angel units into there, like Golden Frieza, and some of the Super Saiyan 3s, like physical Super Saiyan 3 EZA Gotenks, which is very strong. Honestly, it's like I don't necessarily think it replaces the fusion category in a sense, but you could. In a sense, it kind of does because it includes all the units in there. I feel like, if they introduce like a fusion category leader that's like 170% across the board or something, then at that case, it wouldn't necessarily be replaced. Overall, of course, it's just definitely a very strong, solid category. Not really any just a lot of strong units, I guess. There's not much else to say about it. It's just a nice category.
I'm going to go off of that, right? So, a time limit category. So the really only leader besides Gotenks, which is a sub leader, you don't really count that. Gogeta is the only one, right? So Gogeta has time limit and connected hope. So I'm gonna look at it with that because that's the only leader right now. If you're combining these two categories, you're chilling. Yeah, you got PyCon on there for that support, and then like time limit is just all powerhouses. And all right, and time, yeah, it's just a good category. I think how strong it is, and like some combinations that you can put on there, like the 5-year LRs are on there. You put Gogeta on there. You put them with let's say like the 3-year, and they both fuse, and it's over. Dude, you got crazy rotations on this team. Get PyCon floating around. As much as it is a meme for PyCon to be that good, I actually really like PyCon.
That boy is good.
He is.
Oh yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he definitely went up in my overall opinion because I got the one copy literally just so I could do the Super AGL no items run, and then I didn't think I was going to use him that much after that, but he's definitely aged very well, I think.
Yeah, and he works so good with both STR Vegito and Tech Gogeta, right? That like units that work really well with them are just like better by default because how crazy they are.
And yeah, what do we think? I guess technically it makes sense for what we knew at the time in the series, but obviously it's a bit of a shame that the Z Vegetos are obviously not on the time limit category because
I hate it.
I feel like they should have just.
Yeah,
I think they should have just thrown them on there.
Because if Vegito Blue is on there, that means they're taking the retcon into account. So like take the retcon into account for Z Vegito as well, right? Like. And so that's the other thing too. Like everyone just instantly goes, well, they're made to be used together. Well, neither of them are on each other's team, right? Gogeta's not on Buu Saga or Battle of Wits, and then Vegito is not on Time Limit or Connected Hope. So it's like you could use them together, but not their teams. That's the issue. Like if Vegito was on Time Limit, that category is sick too, because that new Gotenks is. He's crazy.
Yeah, he seems very, very good. So that's a perfect lead in because that was going to be the next topic we were going to bring up. So the AGL Gotenks, obviously he's the sub leader for the category, but as a unit in and of himself, he seems pretty damn good. As soon as I saw the details for him, I think Sunblade tweeted out about it, but I feel like he is probably going to be an auto include on any Super Battle Road stage that he actually fits the category for. So
yeah, he is like, because I did a run on the fusion stage and I brought both Gogeta and the Gotenks, and it's like Gogeta's looking great, right? Like the Goku and Vegeta, like they're awesome, but I feel like Gotenks is like stealing the show because it's just like he's like double and triple supering and stunning the entire enemy team. Like it's just he's ridiculous. He is crazy. It's like it's not surprising, by the way. You look at the 10 new category Super Battle Road stages that just came out. Look at some of these new units, and you could see the link, right? That Frieza and Dead Army destroys the Revenge stage. Gotenks destroys the Special Pose stage. Like they're doing that intentionally, right?
Not only the fact that he does that AoE stun, like giving most of his allies 3 key and 40% attack and defense is huge, dude. Like the 3 key especially. Oof.
And they gave him Saiyan Lineage, so he links up with so many units. Fuse Fighter, Prepare for Battle, and Saiyan Lineage. Like
I was going to say, with this Gotenks, dude, I'm most excited to see him with the Super Saiyan 2 Angel LR Vegeta. Because Vegeta, I feel like he'd be so good when you see him with like actual key, but we haven't had that really. We're going to do this guy. It's going to be so nice to actually see this card being like utilized again.
Yep.
Yeah, because he is a very good unit. Obviously, like you said, it seemed people were very confused with some of the choices for the category stages for new SBR, but obviously they seem to be filling that out now. And obviously, Gotenks follows that same tradition that we've seen from the last few side banners now, where they're dropping these side banner units that are giving the new category a 40% support buff, which is it makes them incredibly valuable. Just like, because I remember the STR trunks from the Broly banner. I pulled my copies of Broly super quickly, but I had to keep going to try and get a copy of Trunks because they're making these support units really, really good now. So he seems like a fantastic unit. But yeah, you mentioned him for the Revenge category for Super Battle Road, but obviously the Frieza Undead Army card is the other most recent card that has been added. What do we think about him overall outside of just things like Super Battle Road?
I think he's very good. I think they've really mastered lately the banner unit and free-to-play units. They're making them like... So the banner units are just all like ridiculous supports right now, right? Like Garlic Jr. is a god. GT, Goten, and Trunks, they're crazy. When they build free-to-play units like they did this Frieza, which is basically you put him on the Revenge team and like, you know, because he can get to like 180k defense. He's got big bad bosses. He's supporting Revenge. He has a 70% chance to stun. You put him on that Revenge team and he can hold his own. He's a very solid like slot 7 unit. So that's really good. Like if they're creating free, like look at the Int Frieza that EZA'd and the AGL Cooler, how crazy they are if you're going to Goku family enemy, right? I think these free-to-play unit designs are much better when they're specialized towards either a type of enemy or a category team. So the game is comfortable making them way better rather than like just some mid bullshit that could be used on any team, any situation, right?
My boy Veku, please that EZA, make him so good for a team, man. Just make him good for one team.
I do think Veku is
so
going to EZA in a couple of days because the Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, it's what they're put in the news is like it's a legend, like an EZA campaign for them, right?
Yes.
So I think there's other units that will EZA in that campaign, including Veku and some other free-to-play units.
That's hype. That's the biggest
we
hype
saw
thing
this
in
with
entire thing.
we saw this with B-Pan, right? Where they dropped B-Pan's EZA campaign, and you know Giru, Grandpa Gohan and Pan, and Kid Trunks all EZA'd with B-Pan. So I think it'll be a similar thing with the Great Saiyaman 1 and 2.
Yeah, that'd be very good actually, because then there's a lot of potential free-to-play units that could get those EZAs to be part of that event. So obviously that is something that we were going to lead into. So yeah, that means an EZA for LR Saiyaman 1 and 2. That's definitely something that I think could be very, very interesting. Obviously, we had the Hercule one. Looks like, unfortunately, we're skipping the androids again. But LR, the first friend LR, and they're just going to sit there gathering dust. But yeah, LR Saiyaman
so
1 and
weird.
2. Getting their EZA. What do we think potentially for them? Because, I mean, they were a unit after they first came out that did still see a bit of usage on teams just because of that support that they provide. So what do we think we're potentially going to see from an EZA for them?
I hope they still keep him, of course, more as a supporting role, which is what they're meant to do. Maybe bump up that defense 50% to 70%. I think something that could be really cool that they can give to this unit maybe is revealing enemy super attacks or something like that. Like keep them more so as, you know, like a unit you almost like float around, you know, or just as a support type unit. Maybe on his super attack effects, because he does raise super class allies attack by 30% for 2 turns. What if we raise like their attack and defense for 2 turns or something crazy? I feel like they can make them really interesting.
Yeah.
I think he needs damage reduction. If he gets damage reduction, right, he needs to be more tanky for this team. Because movie heroes, this is what he's for. Movie heroes, right? And I mean, all the other categories is on. It'll buff that team as well. But like, I'm just thinking movie heroes. This guy is going to be a huge buff for that. I honestly think just the damage reduction alone is gonna make him amazing, because I feel like we're not running him because he's dying. He's making you die. He's already pretty good giving 4 key and 50% defense to superclass allies. He just needs a bit more attack so he can at least do some damage. And
Call
also
Videla
damage
he
reduction.
one more time for me. Go ahead.
What?
How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? Videl is part of the card, buddy.
Oh, my bad.
That's
Speaking
my
of which,
wife.
they're buff for Videl too, huh?
The most deserving Dokkan Fest of all time, dude. Come on. Show respect.
What are we
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah, exactly.
The goddess.
Yep. The queen of Dokkan.
Yeah, that's right. Forget the anniversary global players. Videl comes after that. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You have to go all in her banner.
So yeah, Saiyaman 1 and 2 Easy A on the horizon. The newer units that we just talked about that have obviously just dropped. So the Tana-Better celebration overall looks pretty good this year, right? I mean, considering recently we seem to be on a pretty good streak of very good quality celebrations, and this one definitely seems to be packed full.
Like I mean, I know like Global has had they've dealt with a couple of like the sort of bummy ass 2020 celebrations this year, right? But like all of the like the 6-year anniversary, Golden Week, now Tana-Better, like even some of these like lower celebrations, like that Kid Trunks and Goten one, that had like it's got like 5 Easy A's in it. Like that's what makes these celebrations I think so good, is when they're Easy-Aing so many units at once, right? Because like that's like it's not like, oh, go summon on this banner and get this brand new unit, give us money. It's like, oh, here's this unit you've had for years that's now just like a god, right? Like it's good with all the content, all the different teams you can run, all the stages. It's Easy A is just the more they put. It's like the more Legends pushes Zenkai, the more it kills the game. The more Dokkan pushes Easy A, the better it is for the game, right? It's the complete opposite.
Easy
like,
A, I
if-
think, is the
if
best
we're-
thing Dokkan has ever made. Hands
And
down.
if we're gonna count like the amount of Easy A's we're getting that Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the same at 1 and 2, you know, whatever Easy A's may come with them to have to do their events. We're even getting new Extreme Super Battle Road stages.
Yeah,
there's
so
a lot that's coming
Goku.
out.
That means Goku and Bulma will be Easy-Aing.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
so
then Tech Pycon maybe, because that Gogeta Easy A is coming out.
Yeah, that is who I'm anticipating to get the Easy A from. That is Tech Pycon, yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be the Kaioken Goku or the Int Pycon JP, because they don't awaken from the Gogeta Dokkan event medals. They have Shattering the Limits.
Yeah, that's on Global and JP, they awaken differently, right? That's on Global they have Fierce Battle because they awaken, I think, with Gogeta medals, but it's not like that on JP.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that because I remember the units are different because obviously they
Yep.
came out later on JP, but I completely forgot they were shattering the limit on JP.
Yep, another JP shaft. Like, what's new? What's new?
The common JP
So hard
shaft.
being a JP player, man.
Yeah. Typical,
Oh, God,
dude.
we have to play World Tournament for only 2 days. You guys
Oh yeah, and we're getting a new World Tournament LR too. That's another thing.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, this because it's like there's just so many more things. Like, yeah, and there's obviously gonna be a part 2 LR. I mean, it's gonna be Janemba. Let's be real. LR Janemba's coming.
Yes. Oh my God, please, we can finally stop the Tech Janemba slander. I love him.
Yeah, if they
I
they
love
just
my
need to
big
make
boy.
they just need to make the LR Janemba Rainbow Orb Changer, and then yeah.
Yeah, it's GG. Like if that Janemba like dodges Rainbow Orb changes and guards, oh my God, he's gonna be the best villain unit in the game for real. Like,
But honestly,
Broly
I wouldn't be surprised if it was better than the Gogeta. If they make him correctly, of course.
whoa,
think,
yeah. Imagine if he like nullifies fucking Blast or something, right? Like
If it's Blast.
that's the real. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
if
real
it's-
problem with Gogeta, right? Is you go in game, right? Like I've got every unit. There's like 200 melee units or something like that, right? But then there's like 800 blast units, right?
Yeah.
Like all of these old Super Battle Road stages, it's like shitty SSRs from like 2015 and stuff like that, who just do like the generic Kamehameha. If you're nullifying blast, that's completely different from the melee nullification. It's so much better.
It feels like a bit of a shame that they released Super 17 when they did, because he could definitely have benefited from having some sort of mechanic with the super attack typings.
I
my
don't know
gosh.
what they were thinking with him, honestly. I just don't get it.
I know, I'm so hurt.
His design is so bad. Like it.
He's extreme tech, so they had to shaft him. That's why.
Yeah, seriously, this Janemba is gonna be like AGL, right? So he's gonna. Oh, he's
he
not
could be
tech.
physical.
Yeah, we can make him.
Physical.
I think physical, because there's no physical Janemba yet.
Well, the only thing is that we just got a bunch of physical stuff, didn't we? I guess. I mean, they don't care. They once
true.
went what, like a year and a half with no AGL Dokkan Fest or something. Like, yeah, they don't care.
Yeah, so speaking of Janemba, one of the other things that will be coming later on during the celebration is everybody's favorite game mode, a new chain battle, which is against Super Janemba. The super effective categories for this one, obviously tying in with the new units, is time limit, but then there's also other world warriors and joined forces. So obviously with some of these, with these chain battle categories, it's very obvious which units they want you to bring for one team over the other. So obviously for super, seems pretty clear, but what, like, in terms of the extreme teams, what are you thinking are going to be the units that you're going to have to be running for this one?
I think it's Frieza, right?
Frieza is my
Yeah.
top thought.
There's going to be
So
another
honestly-
one of those full Frieza team ones.
This
think
chain
so.
battle
Fusion,
doesn't.
fusions.
This chain battle doesn't seem too good, but what I'm interested in is in the new, like somewhere I swear Luka Dokkan posted it. Wasn't there like gonna be some different type of treasure? Or am I crazy?
I think
Yeah, okay,
top
yeah.
rank.
So, yeah. In the news, they did say that there's a new treasure, Sign of Unity. Apparently, it's a ranking reward for chain battle. So now getting that top 1% seems like it'll be more important.
Yeah.
Oh,
Interesting.
EX skill orbs.
That could be what it is. Yeah, maybe the Chain of Unity or whatever will get you the EX skill orbs. Very possible.
Finally, if so, dude. It's been like
attack
months.
plus 1,000. Imagine if
That
they
would
make
be
like a
really
plus
good,
1,000
actually.
stat boost.
That would
Yeah,
really
there's definitely it's a lot of potential there, because it would be nice if they added something like that for the higher tier rewards, because it's obviously there's the complaints, always the same old complaints about chain battle, but the RNG of the rewards from the chests is always probably the most annoying thing. I think the last one that was on global was the first time I finished top 1% and I didn't get what I would consider to be a single good skill orb out of all of those like chest openings afterwards. So very disappointing. And if they decide to add those in now, that could definitely be something to at least make it a little bit more rewarding for the time that you have to put in sometimes to get those top scores. So be interesting to see how it turns out.
Not that much time compared to World Tournament. World Tournament still works.
No, let's not start this again.
It has to be said, man.
I mean, technically, chain battle you finish in like 10 minutes per day. World tournament all day for like 3 days in a row.
You don't have
that's
to play
like-
it all day for 3 days in a row, though.
I honestly, I just don't see like your argument at all for World Tournament being better. than
Did you
chain
not?
battle.
After we discussed this last time, did you not watch my video?
Dude, it's just insanity. Like again, it's 2 seconds, you're done. World Tournament is hell. Even if you want to get
Alright.
the missions and get out, World Tournament is hell, bruh.
Even a 30
Hell.
million is still like 15 hours, dude. Like,
Yeah, it took me. I was at work, so I couldn't grind non-stop. It took me 7 hours to do the 30 million points. So
chain battle's
that-
just 5 minutes a day.
but this is the other thing, though. That so people say that it's 5 minutes a day. If you do it for 5 minutes, are you really picking like the optimal teams and actually getting a top 1% score?
Yeah, because you're just caring
not
about the first
everybody
run.
is.
After the first run, it doesn't matter anymore.
But yeah, so
Unless
not
you're using
everybody
stones.
is getting top 1%, and the rewards, if you just get the 30 million points and dip, the rewards are better than the top 1% rewards for chain battle, excluding the chest opening stuff. So if you don't even finish in the top 1%, then those 30 million point missions in the world tournament give you even more rewards overall. So but yeah, it does. It's what they're both bad. They're both bad game modes. But yeah, there's you can pick your favorite out of the bad modes. But there we go. So chain battle. What else? Easy A, Goku. I think that's everything for the Tana-Better celebration that we know of right now. Because obviously we can only really speculate about the part
So
2
yeah,
LR.
we do have the Purunga Dragon Ball campaign going on, which it's sick as usual.
Yeah.
The wishes are a little bit different now, right? So global, it is confirmed that global's going to be getting these same rainbow tickets, right, during their 6th anniversary. Has that data download happened? That's had those in it yet?
I
I don't
we not-
think
we're-
so.
we're not-
no.
Okay. because they brought those tickets back, right? It's rainbow tickets. I assume you'll be able to use them on the actual Tana-Better Dokkan Fest, the one with UI Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta and shit like that comes out in 4 days. That's actually one of the wishes you can get from Frunga is 3 tickets from that.
Well, that's just like 3 singles worth, right? And that's
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, but it's one of those, like, if you're free to, like, there's a free to play player out there that's gonna make that wish and is gonna get like UI Goku or LR Gogeta with it, right? Like, no, Carrie, it's 3 tickets. I'm looking at it.
From what I recall on the actual what's called the description of the ticket, it's like it could be used on the Tana-Better banner specifically. So I'm pretty sure it's just only going to be for the banner that's coming out in 4 days from now-ish.
Yeah, 7th. It comes out on the 7th. Now, one other thing too to point out is that last year, Blue Cow King Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta did not hit top grossing, but the Tana-Better banner did. So it'll be interesting to see if it's like that this year for Dokkan as well.
I think even if we don't hit top grossing, they'll probably still give out some gratitude rewards, oh, thank you for supporting the game, here's 30 stones or something.
If the theory is correct that they sort of account for the possibility of top grossing and then they're prepared for it and then we don't hit it and then they'll still give it out anyway. We've seen that happen on global with Tech Gohan before, right?
Exactly.
we will see if they expected to hit top grossing or not.
They probably did.
I mean,
Gogeta. Yeah.
They did it for technically didn't happen kind of for Golden Week. We didn't have top grossing, but then they're like, oh, to celebrate this celebration with the overseas version, here's 30 stones. That's what they did basically. So I mean, I personally feel like it's more likely than not likely.
Yeah. So is it still the horse game? Is that still number 1?
Yes.
There was I don't really recognize the other. There was a different game that was number 1 at least for a little bit. This wilderness game or something.
Yeah, I remember that actually.
I'll have to ask Goresh or one of these guys about that. What that game or Nolar. Nolar probably knows whatever wilderness action that game is or whatever. I have no idea.
So yeah, in terms. Well, apparently it's popular, but so yeah, you mentioned it. The Tana-Better banner itself, the actual separate banner, is going to be dropping very soon. Do you think it's actually worth summoning on that banner? Obviously, it's the one that has a ton of featured units, isn't it? So
I would
have to
say
wait, right?
I would
wait to see
because a lot of those units that's on that banner, even though they're old. A lot of them haven't been featured too many times and even have EZAs now. So I wouldn't say it's exactly not worth, but compared to the main banner, if you're just chasing for Gogeta and the new Gotenks, then it's definitely more worth to go with that one than the Tana-Better one itself.
Yeah, to be fair, some of those older EZA units don't really hit banners anymore, right? That is true. They're just never around.
Well, I suppose
the
they'll be in the
percentages-
coin shop, won't they?
last year on that banner, the Tana-Better banner, was last year, was it still 3% for featured and then 7% for unfeatured?
No.
They changed it back
They
to
only
5.5.
did that. They only did that the first year they did the Tana-Better banner because I think there was only 10 units. That was the 3 anniversary year, right?
So the first.
Now, if you guys remember, then so JP had it like that, where it was only a 3% featured rate, but there's only 10 units. But then for the global version, they did the 20 featured units with a 5% rate. But then they just kept that for JP as well. I remember people on Global were pissed about that. That was November of 2018. But then that's just the formula they kept for JP and Global moving forward.
The funny thing about that is someone did the math for the rates and it ended up being more or less the same anyways. So I don't know. I mean, it is what it is.
Well, yeah, if you think about it mathematically, right? 5 of the 20 cards are LRs. It's 25% of those featured rates are LRs. I mean, nonetheless, Go Bros is going to be one of them. Blue Boys is going to be one of them. But still, I mean...
Yeah, Blue... I can't believe Dokkan. All right, you're over 10,000 stones with only 1 copy. Well, don't worry, because they're going to be on every banner ever moving forward. Thanks.
Just like Gohan and Goten.
Yeah, yep.
I hope Super 17's on this banner. The AGL one. He has not been on a banner for a long time. I've just been waiting for him to pop up so I can just buy him with rare coins, man. I just need that dude. I
think I
90%.
finally rambled him in the past year. I was at 90% for the longest time.
Oh wow. Yeah, because those units just don't come back a lot, do they? Apart from these, we see them on the like the anniversary ticket banner, like the one that will be coming up for global. But there's like 40 other like featured SSRs, so getting them specific ones that you need is quite difficult once you're later on into the game.
I don't even think he was featured on a banner. I'm pretty sure I picked him up with like the purple stone for the anniversary, and that's how I got him rainbow.
It's actually quite funny now that you mention it. I was going off topic ever so slightly, but with the purple stones thing, it's kind of funny when you think that like last year when the anniversary came around and they started doing those packs where you could get all of the purple stones and trade them in for an LR. You think about the number of people that would have turned around and said, why would I trade in my purple stones to get a copy of STR LR Broly? And yeah, it's a pretty, I might actually do that this time because mine still is a rainbow, so... But yeah, so obviously moving over to the global side, we did mention it very briefly, but we have the super exciting World Tournament on at the moment.
Man, you global players, dude, can I just chastise Akatsuki real quick?
Go for it.
Global has to have a World Tournament every holiday, huh? Like New Year's, July 4th, like what's up? They love just slapping y'all up. Man.
They want to test your dedication.
Like, I get the like, you know, July 4th. July 4th is an American thing, right? And global is like a huge audience that plays it, but still, like, it's just like they're just hitting all these holidays. All right, Christmas Day World Tournament, you guys excited?
Oh, what was it last year?
Year's.
The new category Super Battle Road stages dropped on global on like Christmas Day. It's like, okay.
Didn't they do a World Tournament on New Year's Day?
Yeah, I think it was New Year's
this
last
New
year.
Year's
Yeah,
World Tournament was on for your global. Yeah.
that's exactly what I want to be doing.
Happy New Year's as you're getting the LR Broly 12 key. Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Everybody's doing the countdown, and you're like, "Sharp! I'm trying to get key for Broly."
But yeah, so this rotation, please.
But yeah, World Tournament, same old, needs a revamp, obviously. It's definitely very, very quiet this time compared to the last one. I think maybe just like because it's right before the anniversary, obviously, like you said, July 4th is coming up. Compared to some of the older ones, it definitely seems very easy to have gotten higher in the rankings than before. Obviously, no one else on the panel is a global main, but last night I broke into the top 200 on a stream that I did, and then I went and slept for about 7 hours, and I only dropped down to like 300 and something, which compared to like the busy ones, I was shocked that I only dropped down that few places. So people don't really seem too fussed. Maybe is that because of the reward? So the physical Kid Vegeta is the reward card. Obviously he's been out on JP already. What do you guys think overall about this guy? Is it worth getting just that one copy and then dip, or is it worth getting the dupes?
Mid.
Trash.
Mid.
Wait, what's that one
It's a
look he
shame.
has that like nobody has except for like Kid Vegeta and Raditz?
For a Frieza army.
Frieza's army?
Yeah, Frieza army. You know what? Yeah, Link level 10 that, man. You're gonna love that unit.
It gives 20% defense and 10% attack.
Wow, that's great.
You get to use them with a Vegeta and Raditz kit. Yeah.
Because yeah, the thing, it's a shame that Jay Fanta couldn't make it today, because I know he said he's used him on, I think it was the free-to-play Vegeta Family Super Battle Road run. Because yeah, his kit seems really odd to me, because a lot of it's all designed around fighting multiple enemies, but then he has like a single target super attack. I feel like if they made him an AoE unit, that would have made him slightly more valuable, because it just seems like the teams that he's on, like even if you were thinking about using him for Super Battle Road, because I mean he can additional super, he can stun, he gets a nice stat boost when there's multiple enemies, but like the categories that he's on, like things like Vegeta Family and Youth, unless you are free to play or a very new player, you just have a lot more powerful options that you could choose. So it's unfortunate, because we've seen lately a lot of these World Tournament cards are getting awakenings that are making them really, really good. But the problem is they take, what, like a year to 2 years for some of them to actually get an awakening.
Yeah.
So like they
Yeah,
can't
he'll be good in 2
releasing-
years. What's the problem?
Yeah,
that's the
thing.
It's only 2
Now.
years away.
They
Yeah, they
design these
can't-
units knowing that they're going to awaken, so they hold back on them. But then they don't awaken for like 2 to 3 years, so it's like
Yeah,
kind of
that's-
just dead.
And that's the problem. You can't be doing that now. We can't have the ones that are awakening be super good, and then you bring out a new one that's just kind of
It's easy. You just gotta pull them.
average.
Come on.
But yeah, so if you are committed to the grind out there, then I guess good luck. I hope you get the goal that you were aiming for. Like I said, it's definitely a bit quieter this time. I know the last World Tournament on Global was the earliest you could rainbow Demon King Piccolo, so I know a lot of people are trying to get the final copy for him if they didn't do so last time. But yeah, it's definitely a lot quieter this time around. So other than that, Global is obviously in that sort of lull period. We're in the official countdown now. We've obviously got the countdown loading screens that change every day. We've got the countdown login bonus, which is, I guess, nice, couple of little extra stones, but we are just in that quiet period now, but not far away from the anniversary. So one of the questions I put here on my list was, what are we most looking forward to? But again, no one else here is from Global. So for all of you guys on JP who've been through the anniversary, what do you think are some of the highlights? What are some tips for us guys that are waiting for everything to drop? Like, what's the most important things to do first? What were some of your favorite things from the anniversary? What do you think about how the sixth year went down?
I like
The God event.
Yeah, I was about to say the God event and the easy A's that happened.
I think one thing that you gotta make sure you do isn't there that Universe 7 event where you have to do it every day for the equipments? That's something to keep in mind, not to forget to do those. And
Yep. Oh my god, I forgot to mention that JP has a fusion category. It's literally the exact same stage, same equip, same everything as that Universe 7 one, right? They're just doing a fusion one right now on JP. So basically,
thing,
you can get good bronze equips and good gold equips, and the silver equips suck ass.
I think another thing that's fun was that like during the worldwide download celebration, I'm sure global players will know about it, where there's like this mission bar that you have to fill up by doing a certain amount of things. You work together with like people in like your team, you see who beats the amount of stages the most. That returns for the anniversary, and I feel like it's fun. It gives decent rewards, so you want to make sure you get those missions done as well.
Yeah, isn't it for doing the various different Universe Survival Saga related like story missions and Dokkan events and all that? Most of the events that are related to Tournament of Power.
Yes,
like count
Dokkan events, story events, stuff like that.
Oh, the free-to-play units, man. The Ella Roshi,
That's really good.
Yeah, so LR Roshi, obviously, this is one of the things this year, I guess, we kind of knew in advance because it's what they did with the Zamasu Goku last year. But obviously, global players, you should know now in advance, you can farm up multiple copies because eventually he, of course, will awaken into an LR and get an Easy A. So you can do all of that stuff ahead of time. But yeah, LR Roshi, is he the best free-to-play unit in the game?
This would be a good geographic question.
I personally think so.
Yeah, I would agree. I do think Roshi is the number one.
I feel like
free-to-play
the thing that really brings it up to me is not only could it be used on any of those teams, you can kind of just be thrown on there, honestly, on any of these teams. And it's just that revive is just... First off, it's the easiest revive to get, and obviously reviving is pretty broken up when you get it off.
I mean, that's the thing. Frieza, you have to rainbow and farm up half of the game to get Frieza, right? Because you have to do Prime Battle Goku, his whole thing, including his Extreme Z campaign, and then you got to do Frieza's, right? Whereas Roshi's just like 5 seconds. The easy area is not hard for Roshi because you use all the 6th-year anniversary free-to-play units. Like, yeah, it's simple. And then, again, he might just be outright better. Revive, Active Skill, Dodge. He supports every single Goku in the game. Do you guys think Goku is going to get strong units in the future? What do you think?
Maybe. We'll have to wait
No,
and
I
see.
think actually they canceled Goku on Twitter. You see that? I don't think
no,
Goku's
not
getting any more
Goku.
units. Yeah, he said something about Dream.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, no. I don't think we're seeing any more Goku anymore, guys. He's canceled.
And another thing, he also has a great chance to stun, right, on his 12 key, and then he gets seal as well on his 18.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's good everywhere, honestly.
And that dodge. Whew.
And then, of course, a big bonus for global players is the fact that we do have the coin update that wasn't on JP when the anniversary banners came out, which is obviously going to be a huge bonus because obviously the anniversary banners, I still think they're pretty good. I've seen a lot of people complaining lately that they haven't aged very well when you compare them to all the crazy stuff that's been coming out on JP, but that's only natural with the delay that we have for global. But having the coin update is super good because obviously, like any banner, there's always going to be the hype new units, there's going to be some units that haven't been around a lot, and then there's obviously always going to be those 1 or 2 units that have been around forever and are on a lot of banners. And since the anniversary is the place where most people have been waiting to dump all of their stones, having that ability now to trade in a bunch of those extra spare ones to get extra red coins is super useful because obviously as soon as the banners go live, there's like 6 Dokkan Fest LRs that you can have available to buy with red coins. So for a lot of people, that's going to be your opportunity to finally get more copies of Vegio and Bootanks, because it's the first time that they're returning on global. So I think a lot of people are. Yeah, I know. Think how long it's been. And I managed to pull 1 copy of both of them during the worldwide celebration. So all this time up until now, I've had them at 55%.
That's the second year in a row that's happened too, right? That happened with Gohan and Cell.
I think that's probably like, if we're talking about like, if someone ever brings up like a topic of like global, quote unquote, global shaft or something like that, I feel like that's something that goes under the radar. That those units don't return for like 10 months. Wow. And it's happened twice.
Yeah, it's the only
global
downside.
Player, save your stones for August.
Yeah, exactly. It's the only downside. It's not necessarily directly tied to it. It's just how Akatsuki have chosen to do it. But it's the only downside to the worldwide celebration being on both versions at the same time, because then, they've made this arbitrary decision that those units will then not return until the anniversary, which, for JP is only like 4 or 5 months later, but for global it's 10 months later. So if you didn't pull them, then this is going to be your first opportunity in all that time. So I think a lot of people are hyped just to be able to get copies of them again, let alone the actual new ones. So the only other thing I wanted to say for all of you guys very quickly, because I see this discussion come up a lot, I already know what Truth's going to say, but when you think about them all in all, who's better, Goku or Vegeta?
Goku.
Yeah, honestly, it's not even a discussion.
It's not a question.
It's not even a discussion. Like, everyone with a brain just agrees. They really went out of their way to cuck Vegeta. It's weird. It's just odd, right? Like, no Super Saiyan Link. He has a horrible, like, this damage reduction mechanic is horrible. Like, I don't know what they were thinking.
I think it's
right?
so
Like,
dumb.
he's still
At the very least, they should have, like, if they wanted it to be built up, they should have let you keep it, like, just permanently 40% once you build it up. So every
that would have
turn
been
it resets.
I agree. That would have been fine. Also, why does they want him to get hit, right? Like, why doesn't he get ki when he's hit rather than when he attacks? Because, like, UI Goku, it's very common to where UI Goku has built up his entire ki passive, or nearly all of it, the first time he attacks. But Vegeta, it takes you at least 3 turns to do that, basically, most of the time. Like, it's just, it's bizarre the way they went very far out of their way to make Goku better. Like, they did not treat Vegeta fairly at all.
Yeah, it seems to be a running trend when they release these Goku and Vegeta, like dual Dokkan Fests, or not even necessarily Dokkan Fest, but when they bring out the 2 cards that are not necessarily always similar, but they're like the counterparts to each other. It seems very common that the Goku cards are better. So I figured most of you would probably say Goku, but I have seen a few random people on the timeline lately trying to argue that Vegeta's the best unit in the game.
Call them out right now.
You
Call
know.
them out.
Oh, I don't know who.
They don't actually play the game.
They're global players who haven't used the units.
Well, hey, that's why I asked you guys, because one of the things when I get asked these kind of questions, I don't like to rank or like rate units that I haven't actually got to play with yet. So see, it seems like it is Goku to me, but I'm looking forward to actually getting to play with them in the game. So But yeah, that is all the topics that we have listed for the first part here. So we are going to take a short break. And then as always, we will be returning with some questions from you guys. These ones this week are all taken from the Discord. So make sure if you are not a member of the 5-9 Discord, jump over there and join in. And yeah, we will be back soon. Okay, so we are back for the viewer submitted questions. Like I said before the break, these ones are all taken from the Discord, so make sure you are a member if you want to have a question featured in a future episode. We like to keep you on your toes. Sometimes we take them from here, sometimes we take them from the Twitter post, so make sure you're following us across all of our social media, and then you can potentially have your question featured in a future episode. So we are going to jump straight in with the first question that we have here, which is from Sufyan Gamer 148, and he says, do you think Super Saiyan 4 Gohan and Super Saiyan 4 Bardock should awaken with the next Heroes collab?
I need to figure out the timetables of when the units awaken, because I don't know if it's 2 years or 1 year till a Heroes unit
Typically,
awakens.
it's 2.
It's 2 years? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think if they go by the same schedule, I think this time it should be the is it the
Base
Gohanks
Goku
and
and-
Xeno Gotenks
And
What about the-
Vegeks
and
or whatever.
Vegeks, yeah.
Yeah.
What about
I mean,
the,
that's good. We're talking about buffs for like Fusion and Patara and stuff like that. And everyone's like, oh my god, they release Fusion units every 5 seconds. No, dude, those teams are tiny. Like, they could use the help.
Aren't the base form Goku and Vegeta also going to Dokkan Awaken?
Potentially, yeah. They easily could. Remember
Actually, yeah, they've
that
been
one,
out for a while.
because that was from a slightly different, like, that's not the typical Heroes collab, right? That was the special
That
one
was
for
World
World
Mission?
Mission. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would assume they will, but we'll see.
Yeah, it'd be really nice for them to get Awakenings because, again, they are sort of those older era support units where they're pretty good for their teams in terms of the support, but they're not the best defensively. I think that's actually going back to what we were saying briefly. That's one of the rare instances where the Vegeta card is probably slightly better than the Goku one because he stacks defense, so you can actually use him in some of the longer events without him getting absolutely destroyed. So it'd be interesting to see what they do with them and the other fusions, because one of the things that people bring up all the time is whether they'll awaken into different forms, because I know people really want to see the Xeno Super Saiyan 4s, but I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to save them for their own cards. But it would be nice to see them awaken into like Super Saiyan, because then obviously they pick up a couple of extra links, which would be quite useful.
No, I think just keep them as base, right? Because like even like Xeno and Super Saiyan and stuff like that, like those events essentially could be like Dokkan level characters. I want them to just stay base for sure.
Yeah, I really want them to make Heroes more than just a once a year thing, because with obviously the anime still not having come back, like the actual proper like source material, and them not having touched really any manga stuff, like there's so much stuff they could draw from Heroes if they wanted to, and the fact that it's only once a year. Because we were talking about, I know Truth, you did a video on it recently, the reveal of the Super Saiyan 3 Rosé. Heroes is so far ahead with all these random new characters that they've released that Dokkan only having units added once a year. There's so many characters they could add in now. It would be nice to see that be a more regular thing.
Well, I have heard that it's gonna just be in November, right? Like they're not gonna be doing like stuff throughout the year or anything like that. The only reason they were able to was because of another game, World Mission, right? So like if they release like another Heroes Switch game or something like that, then we definitely could see a different like time for a Heroes collab. But otherwise, just November is when we'll see all that stuff like usual.
I was gonna say too, if we did do like let's say twice a year, we would do that November and then another 6-month gap, and then May. May would be a pretty good time for that as well. I'm pretty sure what May had. Oh, that had
May's
Goku
Golden
Vegeta,
Week,
right?
isn't
That's
it?
Golden Week.
Yeah, well, yeah, but again, I mean, I'm hearing that they're not gonna. It's only like the anniversary like of the hero stuff, right? Like
That would make
they're gonna
sense,
keep
too.
it in November every year. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. So it'll be interesting to see what it's going to be this year. They've got a ton of stuff to choose from. And yeah, inevitably, some units will get Awakenings. I mean, the Super Saiyan 4, Gohan and Bardock, they might have to wait until next year. But those, I can't wait to see what they're going to do. Because even in their SSR state at the moment, they're pretty damn good. So
Oh yeah, they're gonna be
shall.
nuts.
All they really need to do is lower the amount of the allies that you need to have within those same categories, because like you literally can't run Bardock on the Giant 8 team because there's not enough crossover units. So they need to lower those, and then those units are going to be fantastic. So moving on to the second question. This is from Goku Enerjak, who says, how do you guys feel about the possibility of a different LR other than Janemba for part 2 of the Tana-Better? Personally, I don't want a Janemba since he's only on two and a half teams. And an LR Gotenks, Saiyaman, or Super Saiyan 3 Goku would be sick for me.
Okay, so Gotenks, I don't think so, since we just got him as a banner unit, right? So we need to cancel him out. Saiyaman, I also don't think so, since we're getting the EZA for their LR, right? So, like, I think that takes them away. And then Goku is also getting an EZA. So, like, it's... I don't... Dude, it's so... It's
Actually,
so,
all of them out.
it's so obviously Janemba. Like, it's just... And Janemba needs it. Like, when was the last time we got an Extreme AGL summonable LR?
Vegeta
Does
Nappa?
anyone know?
Yeah, Nappa and Vegeta, I think.
Like we kind of need it. It's pretty bad for Extreme AGL. Extreme AGL has kind of fallen off quite a bit. Like there's no Extreme AGL LR with Fierce Battle, right? Like they're all Shattering Limit. So I think it's Extreme AGL Janemba, and it's like 99.9%.
Yeah, because even like the Saiyaman, they if we're talking strictly about like Fusion Reborn, that's what the free-to-play unit when they did that sort of Dokkan of the Dead thing was as well, wasn't it? That was themed around the Fusion Reborn stuff as well. So yeah, unfortunately, like you said, pretty much all the examples that this guy gave in his question are pretty much covered with all the EZAs and stuff that we're getting. And if you think about what really happens in Fusion Reborn, because that is pretty much just what the celebration is focused around, I don't think there's really many other candidates for units that could be, unless it was a Python.
It's like
They're not bringing Hitler in. They're not doing that. Right? He's not coming to Dokkan.
Terrifying Conquerors leader. Let's go.
it's like 99% Janemba, dude. Like unless they want to throw a curveball and like throw out like LR Lord Slug or something random, I doubt it. I honestly
LR
I don't foresee that happening.
LR
'Cause you
Python,
look
let's
at the Tana-Bettas from the last couple of years, and it fits the theme, right?
Yeah.
So.
exactly.
Yeah, it definitely seems very likely at this point. So, okay, so moving on to question number 3, which is from Matt G, and he asks, how do you think they will present a Saiyan Saga Goku and Piccolo when we just got the Garlic Junior movie card? Like, what name / exchange mechanic do you think they would have?
I think it could be, thinking about it, it could be a unit super attack. So like just Piccolo and named as the card. But then when there's a Goku, he could do the, like where Goku comes in and holds the unit, the enemy, and then Piccolo shoots him with the special beam. An exchange unit maybe could work. Like maybe if it's like it's like Goku and Piccolo, then you exchange to just Goku. When Piccolo comes back, you do like a super powerful attack or something interesting. But yeah, those are the two things I can think of at the top of my head.
I agree with unit super attack. I think so. That's a good way for them to do that.
You think Piccolo and then unit super attack with Goku, or a Goku unit super attack with Piccolo?
I think it'd be Piccolo.
It probably would be. I mean, it probably would be better if it was a Goku card, honestly. Just because like we've already got LR Piccolo from Saiyan Saga, and it's like we could easily get like a Dokkan Fest Goku from there, but it would be Kaioken, right? So
Yeah. See, I was thinking if it's going to be like the unit super attack Piccolo, then the side banner unit would be a Goku from that fight that would like activate that unit super attack.
It could also
that would
just
be
be
the
a
side
free-to-play unit too.
That's it.
I feel like.
It could be like
Yeah,
I think,
practicing on King Kai's planet. Or no,
they
it's not.
always do make sure to have free-to-play options, right? To get around the whatever the hell it is, Kampacha law or whatever it's called.
Yeah, the one
Compugacha, I think. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's free-to-play Gokus and Piccolos, so obviously being that early in the saga, they wouldn't have any of the, like, parentheses Kaioken or anything like that. So yeah, there'd definitely be a bunch. I think having it be Piccolo with a unit super attack is less useful overall, because obviously even with the same name update, there's only one named version of Piccolo, so they don't link well together. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see that as a... I think exchange would work, but unit super attack is probably more useful, because I feel like they've kind of almost abandoned the exchange mechanic at this point. So
Yeah. The reason I think Piccolo is because, bro, it's kind of... I'm thinking like Piccolo does a special beam and Goku just comes in and holds the enemy. Kind of like the LF in Legends. But, I mean, Goku would be better like if the EZA the LR Piccolo, I guess, you know, and you can run them together. And then that activates the unit super, something like that.
except if it's a unit super, then it means it's the your Goku on your team that's grabbing the enemy and getting special beam cannon. So then you would lose like what 90% HP, something.
I mean, yeah, that's why I think a Piccolo just itself would probably make sense, I guess, in terms of the unit and what they would do.
Yeah. So, question number 4. This is a spicy one, so strap in for this one, boys. Question number 4 is from Blazer King, and he asks, who do you think is the worst Dokkan Fest exclusive of 2021 so far?
Now, let me stop you really quick, Ningen. While we were in the intermission, Ningen said, I really like this one. I thought you were going to talk about Tech Janemba. Now, I just searched up Tech Janemba. That is 2020. So, 2021. What is that then? Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I've been looking at these, and they're all so good. I don't know what to like say.
It's very
I have an answer. I think it's Trunks and Goten.
Really?
Dude, I might say I like Trunks and Goten more than Broly personally, so I might have to say
hell no.
Broly,
Well, not for
but
me. Not for me. Hell no.
For me,
Broly
I
is-
think I like Trunks and Goten.
Yeah. I'll fight over
Broly-
that one. No, dude, Broly is so
man.
good.
Oh, it's so hard. Maybe Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta.
What?
No,
Yeah.
don't hurt
Wait,
me.
what?
No, poor Vegeta.
Looking at everybody else, man, I'm just saying, listen, the TURs are better than him.
Oh, poor Vegeta.
Damn. Well, fortunately, Diddy, you thought you could stump me, but as a global player, I'm still going to say Tech Janemba.
That's a global... Wait, what? Oh, wait. All right.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. Janemba.
That's right, yeah.
Because he came out in 2021 on global.
I mean,
You're right.
dude.
I forgot about that.
If I could say Tech Janemba, it would definitely be Tech Janemba.
Oh, I agree.
Exactly.
I feel like it's really hard if we consider just like, you know,
Give him
Broly,
2 weeks.
Goten, and
Give him
Trunks,
2 weeks, man. Give him 2 weeks. He won't be on
Gohan.
the
I thought
bottom.
people were gonna say AGL Gohan. I'm waiting for the slander for him.
No, that go, dude. I ran the Age of Gohan type disadvantage in the God event, and I still beat it no items. So he's pretty good.
Yeah, that boy is good. Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, he seems like that
but see,
unit that just fits nicely.
I'll do the false equivalency logic that they're hitting me with Twitter on.
Oh.
So you could easily do that same thing with Broly, but you can't with Trunks and Goten. So you're saying Broly's better, right? Yeah, you see that's what they do on Twitter, buddy. All right, go ahead.
Well, yeah, there you go. So thanks for that question. I knew that was going to be a fun one. But yeah, so...
2 weeks,
good
man.
to
2
get.
weeks. Listen, LR Janemba is going to change him.
I mean, this is the thing, right? So for me, I hate him because I've said this a number of times when we talk about units. A unit can be insanely good when they're at their best, but like if they're just a huge detriment to your team when they're at their worst, especially when it's beyond your control, like with how the orbs spawn on the field, it's just super, super annoying. Like I actually don't mind his mechanic because when I use Pycon, I don't find it anywhere near as annoying because his restriction is just nowhere near as bad. And I do kind of like the way you can sort of tactically play the orbs, so you can kind of like deliberately leave your other unit like 2 keys short because you know you're going to get the orbs to then trigger their support passive. But it's just so much more annoying to get with Janemba than it is with Pycon. So
You know what's funny about what you
Would you-
just said? That applies to Trunks and Goten.
yeah, there you go. Exactly. So
I mean,
But
Trunks
yeah,
and Goten,
that's-
you know, they kind of can be
Actually,
self-sufficient.
Gunks is the name.
Oh, my
stop.
bad. Yeah.
What about that
Please stop
third
that
turn
crap.
guaranteed dodge, though? I think that's pretty
True.
good.
Okay, well,
supremacy.
well, we enjoyed that one, but we'll move swiftly on to the final question, which is from FWWC JP Awari, who says, is defense more important than offense?
I want to hear True's opinion on this. What's yours?
I thought this was an interesting one.
I would say for the most part, yes. But I think there's like a minimum of defense. Like once you get to like 180k defense, like around that level, like a lot of units are good. Like around 200k defense in that range, that's where you want to be. But I would say for the most part, yes, I think defense is more important.
I agree. I feel like defense like has a lower cap to it in a sense because you only really need to get like around...
I'm sorry. Let me jump in real quick. A lot of people are going to bring up the Gogeta versus Vegito stuff, but you have to understand, Gogeta does not even do half of the damage that Vegito does. Like Vegito is actually doing like 4 times more. It's insane. When you see the two of them next to each other, Gogeta just doesn't even look half as good as him, man. It's like even with his more impressive defense, it's just like Vegito. That transform Vegito is just, it's true. Dude, people laugh, not even half LMAO. It's true. That shit is true.
If he's not attacking
Gogeta
you,
doesn't even do half the
Gogeta's doing
damage
more
that Vegito does, man. It's true.
What was that, did he?
If there's no attacks, you're not getting the counters off, so I think I'll do this better.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't count the counters, which is basically the biggest part of his unit.
They're going to use my argument against me that counters suck. I always say counters suck. They're overrated. Unless we're talking about the LRs. Not on them. Not in LR Vegito and the SCR Vegito.
Yeah, when your attack stat is that high, then you can get some pretty nice counters off.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think the meta has definitely seemed to shift more towards defense being more important, especially with like the end game content. Because one of the units that always comes to mind when we talk about this like meta shift is Tech Hit. Because when Tech Hit was revealed as the global first, everybody was kind of hyped for him, and he seemed like he would be pretty good. And then as soon as we then moved into all the end game content, you have to have really good defense, he immediately became terrible and nobody liked him anymore. So they've definitely made defense much more important now.
I will say truth, no items, the rapid growth with Tech Hit, so, you know.
There you go, it can't be that bad then. Yeah, let's go.
I will say, when it comes to defense versus offense, like, defense has a much lower cap to where, like, okay, you know, that's pretty nice. Whilst offense, you know, now you're getting, like, 6 million, 7 million range, and you can keep going forever. Well, like, right now, with how hard the events or units are hitting, like, if you're, like, around 200k, you know, or plus defense, you're basically sets, especially with all these stackers going around.
Yeah, because it is kind of, there's always going to be arguments both ways, because obviously having the, you know, crazy defense lets you survive longer, lets you take more hits, but having crazy attack, you kill the enemy faster, so you take less hits.
I still think defense is more important, in my opinion, personally, but that's just something to really, you could think about, I guess. Until they start making these enemies hit way harder than, you know, then I'll be thrown out the window in a sense.
Because, I mean, one thing, there's not a huge amount of events that do it, obviously, but the GT Legendary Goku event, you know, when you get to that final stage against Tech Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, you can be hitting the highest attack stat in the game, and then he dodges. And then if you don't survive the attacks that he throws back at you, then, yeah, it doesn't matter how much damage that unit can do. So
It makes me think of Belmont.
So, yeah, defense definitely... seems very important at the moment.
Like, the Belmont fight, he locks you in place, he can lower your defense, he could super twice. I think
Seals
he can, like, can he dodge too or no? I don't.
He could seal. I think he can dodge, and he could seal you as well.
Oh boy.
let me double check that he could. I think he could dodge, but that one I'm not 100% sure.
It's like they just gave him everything, dude.
Yeah,
It was like
Toyotaro, because Toyotaro sucks off that clown god, man. And I'd swear he was in their ear, like, yo, make him tough, make him tough.
make him good. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I've got that to look forward to. So,
Oh, no hiding, and then that one was not fun. That's for sure. But I mean, I used Techno on, so it was fun.
oh no, but Tekko's terrible. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, my fault. He's awful. He doesn't do 6 million turn one. Oh, I forgot about that. You're right.
Well, on that note, that was the final question. So yeah, that was episode 40 of the Dokkan Battle podcast. I want to say thank you to all of our panelists, Truth, Diddy, and Minato, and obviously thanks to Troco for running the board. Shout out to all of you guys as well for coming out. I know we went live a little bit earlier than usual today due to some scheduling issues, but it was good to see you all here. Obviously, the recorded version will go up on YouTube tomorrow as always, so if you did come in late and missed the majority of it, you will still be able to check it out over on the YouTube channel. So make sure you are subscribed, have the notifications on, follow us across all of our social media so you don't miss any updates. And yeah, we will see you again next week for what will be the global anniversary hype episode, so looking forward to that, and we will see you then.